Welcome to day 7 of the 30-day wholesaling challenge, and today's video is all about finding motivated seller leads as a beginner in wholesaling real estate. If you are looking to master marketing, especially as a beginner, and really learn how to do it the right way, this is going to be the video for you so you can find amazing wholesaling real estate deals. So without further ado, before we break it down, do us a favor, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So before we figure out how to find a motivated seller, we got to figure out what is a motivated seller. So in your opinion, after 20 plus years and thousands of wholesaling deals, what would be your definition of a motivated seller?
It's simple. I can say it in one sentence. It is, you're looking for the person that needs to sell their house and you're avoiding the people that want to sell their house. Remember, everybody wants to sell their house. That's 100% of the real estate market. You have to identify the people that need to sell their house, because when they need to sell their house, they have a deadline and they have a pressing event, and that is what's truly going to make a motivated seller.
Yeah, and so we got to figure out people that want to sell their property, and when they want to sell their property and they need to sell it, they usually want to sell it for a discount. And when we get discounts, that's how we get really good wholesaling deals, so we can sell them to the cash buyer for big profits. So the key word in motivated seller is motivated. We are not here to talk to every single type of seller. You got to remember, about 1% of all sellers in real estate, think of everyone who sells their property, about 1% of them are what I can call in the motivated seller category. Not 1% are wholesaling deals, but 1% are motivated sellers. So we're only going after 1% of all potential sellers in real estate. And so we have to understand we're not trying to find every single person who wants to sell their house. We want to make sure they're actually motivated to sell. And when they're motivated to sell, that's when we get these discounts. Now, in real estate wholesaling, we can kind of narrow that down. Yes, if I go after every single type of home seller out there, sure, only 1% are going to be motivated sellers. And that's a little more difficult. It means after 100 yeses, only one's going to be a good wholesaling deal. That sucks. We don't want to do that. But you can narrow down that range. For example, if I want to figure out people that love hamburgers, like absolutely love hamburgers, they're obsessed with it, it's their favorite food in the world. If I'm going to go out here on a regular day, I could probably find, I don't know, maybe 10% of the people that's their favorite food ever. But if I go to a McDonald's or a Burger King and I ask them, it's probably double or triple more likely they're going to love hamburgers, right? Same thing in wholesaling. If I go after a list that usually has ugly houses, the chance of them being a motivated seller increases by 5x, even 10x. So this is why it's really important when we do our marketing, we go after people that have a reasoning on a specific list that usually has a ton of motivated sellers. That's marketing 101. And the key part about motivated sellers I want you to understand here is we're not forcing people to sign contracts with us. A lot of people think it's like the Wolf of Wall Street, where I call someone on the phone and say, think about it, visualize it, sign now, sign now, sign now. And we're forcing people to sign contracts. We're not high pressure sales right here. We just keep it regular and we keep it simple. A lot of people get really confused about that. But if you keep this business stupid simple and you act like a regular Joe, you actually get more wholesaling deals. When I talk to a motivated seller, I say, hey, my name is Zach. Me and my partner are looking to buy a couple more properties for cash. And hey, if you're looking to sell, we'd like to buy it.
It's real simple. You can't make people buy a house. And so once again, we're looking for motivated sellers. Everybody wants to sell their house. You need to focus on ones that need. And if you try to do it in reverse order, you try to convince all the people that want to sell, you are going to get frustrated and burned out of the business. So focus on those motivated sellers that need to sell, and understand you can't force someone to sign a contract.
So all marketing in wholesaling real estate is basically divided into two things. And I know you're going to roll your eyes here, but this is true. We love fishing, and we always look at wholesaling marketing as fishing. So in fishing, we have two things. We have the rod and reel, basically our rod and reel with the line and the hook, and we also have our bait. That is it. That's how we catch fish. And it's the same thing in wholesaling real estate. So you got your rod and reel and you got the bait. In marketing, when it comes to wholesaling real estate, we have our lists and we have our marketing channels. That is the same exact thing. Now, the reason why it works so well is I could go out here fishing. I could have the best rod and reel ever. I spent $6,000, and we know friends that pay tens of thousands of dollars for the best equipment ever, and they have terrible bait. Like they'll use like a hot dog to try to catch a marlin or something, right? And just, I don't care how good your rod and reel is and how much money you spent. If your bait sucks, the fish doesn't want to eat it, okay? It ain't gonna work. And on the other end, you might have the most premium bait in the world, but if your rod's gonna snap in half on a big fish, then you're not gonna catch the fish either. The point here is we want our lists and our marketing channel to both be good. If one's lacking, we're not gonna get any wholesaling deals. But if both are good or at least decent, we're actually gonna start getting wholesaling deals. So let's talk about the first thing, lists. In real estate wholesaling, 80% of all people get their first wholesaling deal from only 3 lists and only from 3 marketing channels. Kind of interesting, right? And since this is the 30-day wholesaling challenge, why don't we try to do what 80% of people who get their first deal do and not try to go against the grain here and try something that's most people aren't doing it. So number one, and first and foremost for lists, the top lists I can tell you are what we call government lists. And this is day 7. So on day 8 tomorrow, we're going to talk way more about government lists. So I'm just going to brush over it really quick. But these are lists you get for free from the government that most wholesalers in your market can't get. They can't get it because they don't have the knowledge of how to do it. And they honestly just don't want to do the work to actually get this list. This is a free list. So when you have no money, it's a perfect list. And also when you have money, you can pay a VA to get a list like this. It's one of the best lists ever. And it's probably my number 1 list for you guys to be going after. To the probates, code violations, water shutoffs, tax delinquencies, bail bondsmen, the arrest records. I can go on and on forever. Check out tomorrow for day 8 about how to do it exactly step by step. But I'm telling you, government lists, hands down, one of the best ones. Now, the next type of list that I actually love doing are what we call paid lists. Paid lists are lists we get from services like PropStream and ListREI.com, also BatchLead, ZacData.com, where you have to pay for the specific data, but we also get type of lists that government lists we just can't get. For example, the vacants, the high equities, the tired landlords, stacked lists, just lists where I can't get 150,000 properties, cross-reference it to see which one owes not too much on the property, which one's vacant, which one's in the right zip codes. But with the paid service, I can do that. So that's an amazing list, especially when we're going out here and doing higher volume marketing. That's the best way to do it. And then the last one, probably one of my other favorites, this is what we call earned lists. These are lists that I can't go and get it from the government. It's not completely free to do. I can't go and pay for the list. I actually have to go out here and earn it. When you go out here, get a government list, I mean, you kind of earn it, but you don't earn it because it's just right there. Sometimes you just go on a website right there and pull it for free, kind of like the probates, the liens, things like that. This is a list where it's actually not online and really almost impossible to get if you're just going online to do it. These are lists where you actually have to get in your car, go out here, do the sweat equity, and find ugly looking houses. This can be drying for dollars, reverse drying for dollars, door knocking, bandit signs, other sweat equity. But these are lists that you get that you just can't pay for regularly. You have to go out here and earn it. Now, if you want to learn more about that, paid lists and government lists, and you don't want to wait till tomorrow to learn, just go to freewholesaling.com, our free real estate wholesaling course, where we already have the step-by-step tutorials on how you can do it step by step. Now, the next part here are marketing channels.
So let's talk about our marketing medium channel. So you basically have 3 main channels most wholesalers use. I'll kind of do them in order of importance. Number 1, cold calling. Everybody knows about this. This is basically finding the sellers of the property, reaching out, skip tracing, getting their phone number, and calling them via phone, either on your cell phone or on what we call a multi-dialer, which is a piece of software, and then just seeing if they have any interest in selling the property. The huge advantage of this is it allows you to get through a lot of numbers. And honestly, cold calling is all about the numbers game. If you have the stamina to understand to get through these numbers, and the key here is not ask how many calls do I have to get a deal, it's how much effort you're going to put in making these phone calls. Because you might be able to get a deal on your first call, or it might be your 10,000th call. I don't know. There's so many variables that go into it. The key is by you going through this journey, number 1, you're going to gain confidence. Number 2, you're going to get experience because the amount of calls you're going to make is going to teach you how to talk to sellers. And the more you do, the better off you're going to do. The second one is SMS, which is basically texting. And this is a very valuable service, especially to you individual operators. Why? Because it only takes one person to do this and you can scale it massively, because if you send out 3,000 texts, usually use the service to do it, and you get responses to it, you can then respond to it. And it is the most scalable of all the marketing channels. But here's the challenge is you have to convert them from text to via phone. Don't ever think you can close these people just on text alone. You have to get that personal touch. So focus on the conversion and understand this is probably the most scalable way to do it. The third one's going to be direct mail, which to be honest with you is most investors use it when they've made some money. So I'd rather you get your first couple deals from the first 2 marketing channels. But once you understand and you have a lot of experience talking to sellers, you understand how to handle objections. Now you can make an investment into your wholesaling business and do direct mail. And the reason I like this, number 1, it's scalable, extremely scalable. A click of the button, you put your list together, click a button, and a service sends it out to you. And number 2, it's legal. It's 100% legal. You can't be shut down for it. As long as you pay the United States Postal Service their stamp fees, it's 100% illegal, and you don't have to worry about the threat of someone saying you're breaking the law. Now, the other third huge advantage to it is these are what we call inbound leads, and it allows you to answer incoming phone calls. We always recommend answering them live, and for this alone, it is super fantastic for scaling. Now, it's going to cost you some money to do this. I said wait till you get a few deals on your belt, but if you spend $2,000 or $3,000 $1,000 to make $30,000 or $50,000. That is a sizable return on your investment, and that's what you can get direct mail. Direct mail typically takes at least 3 months before you see a profit on it, so you have to budget and you have to plan for 3 months. A hidden marketing strategy we kind of use in direct mail is called reverse driving for dollars, and this is nothing more than taking a yellow sticky note, and maybe you take like your code violation list, which is your government list, and you get a list and you figure out a route and you go out and put 50 notes on a door. And your note simply says, hey, I got a quick question about your house. It's Rick. You put on your virtual phone number. Once again, it's inbound marketing. It's coming to you. So you put out 50 notes, 5 people call you back. Those are 5 people you can work with, and hopefully you can get a deal or 2 out of that. It is a very clever strategy. It works well, and you have a high callback rate. And honestly, using all of these strategies is the best way for you to connect with a motivated seller.
So here's the key. I would say probably starting out, just focus on 2 things. Number 1, focus on one marketing channel. I feel like so many people focus on all these marketing channels and lists and crazy stuff. If you're starting out right now, if you can match one of the 3 lists we talked about and then one of the 3 marketing channels and you combine them together into one, just start out like that. A lot of people have analysis paralysis and they're stressed and they get all these confusing things. But honestly, if you just go out here and just stick to one thing and just do that very well, that'll probably lead you to the best chance of getting your first deal. When you overcomplicate things, that's when you get stretched thin, and then maybe your deal flow doesn't work too well. And remember, you should also focus on what we call the 1,000 leads rule. Everyone says, how many leads should I do to get a call, or how many calls or texts to get a deal? Just focus on 1,000 really motivated leads and get in front of 1,000 people, and you should get a wholesaling real estate deal from that. But it's up to you if you're going to do the volume, the effort, and the work to become successful in wholesaling, and that'll lead you to finding your first deal with the power of marketing for wholesaling real estate. So guys, take what we say, do what we say, and I promise you, we've helped people make millions and millions of dollars every single month in wholesaling, and we want you to be the next success story. So if you want to be the next success story, start doing these marketing lists and channels, and you'll be successful in wholesaling real estate. So if you got any value from this video, do me a favor, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe. For everything we talked about, we do have step-by-step tutorials how to do it at freewholesaling.com. So make sure you go to freewholesaling.com. We'll see you guys soon. This is Zach signing out.
Rick signing out.
Have a blessed one.
See you guys.